The reason is olden days, we used to go from house to school, school back home. And at the most, we used to play some games, maybe on the ground, physical games, maybe hockey, kabaddi, football, or we used to go for swimming. Thereafter, you used to be at home. But today, look at the children that not only they play games, but their expectation from them also has really gone up in terms of scoring marks. And besides that, they got mobile, they got video games, and they got television, they got movies, they got friends, and then they got WhatsApp, and then Instagram. Too many things on their mind. So that's why their mind goes here and there, and that's the reason day by day their concentration levels are going down. So it was okay during our time, even if we would have not gone through any specific training on concentration, it was okay. But today, the children need to learn about concentration because too many distractions. This online training and everybody using a cell phone. And we never had the cell phone. And then the moment you have a mobile, and then what they actually see and how they get addicted to watching these different things on mobile. Even 2 years old baby, if you snatch the mobile from the baby and she starts crying. So that's the reason concentration levels are going down day by day, number one. Number two, see memory, when it comes to memory, that time and this time, okay, only thing is the concentration is directly linked to memory. See, memory has got three things. One is reception, means you need to receive. When someone is talking, someone is explaining, you need to receive that information. And second is to store in the brain. Third one is in the examination hall, or when someone asks, you need to recollect this data. So reception, storage, and recall. These are the three steps in memory. And the most important thing is the reception. And means when someone is talking, when someone is explaining, when we are reading to remember, we have to concentrate. And once our mind is getting distracted, we get too many thoughts and too many navigations. Then what actually happening is that it's not going information in the brain to the brain. And once it doesn't go, it is not there. Once it is not there, it doesn't come out. So everything is connected to what is happening around us in the changes situation right now. So that's the reason. And it is very imperative that children learn this concentration and memory techniques right now. And one most important thing is earlier we used to compete from this state to our neighboring state. But today, global competition. So the whole world has become a global village. So we compete with someone who is in Germany, who is in America, who is in Russia, who is in Canada, who is in Australia. So if we don't have a good engineer, we get someone from US. If we don't have a good doctor, we get somebody from London. So under these circumstances, parents want them to really perform. And most important thing is during our time, we could get jobs very easily because few people, less competition we could get. But today, too many people and too many, too many people and too much competition. And that's why they're going through stress. And once you go through stress and then you don't have concentration, that ultimately leads to memory. So we have to find a solution as to how we can give them a tool, a technique, something that they can hold on to, so that they can really perform well in this 21st century right now. Memory is part of our life. So mobile is there, laptop is there, and everything that you want available on click of a button. On Google you go, everything is available. But finally understand one thing, this technology is meant to be your servant. Or you go for any competitive exam, then they'll give some questions, they expect you to perform. So our exams are, most of them are memory based. So if you don't have memory, as a student, you are going to fail, number one. So memory and student life go hand in hand. So both of them are indispensable. They are part of one. So if as a student, if you don't have memory, then you are not going to flourish. You are not going to succeed. You are not going to grow at all. Number one. Even when you get into a job, imagine you are into software, and when you have all the data, programming, everything in your mind, it's very easy to code. If you don't have, every time you have to go to the Google and check that code, again put it back. Or you are going to make a presentation to your client. When you have all the data on your fingertips, you will be very impressed. You will come out as a very impressive person to the client. And what are you? You are your memory. For example, if I forget who I am, if I forget where is my house, if I forget my background, is the whole thing is like I'm a vegetable. Nothing else is there. You are your memory. And for that matter, anything that you think, any decision that you take, is all dependent on memory only for that matter. See, look at your grandparents. Even you think about your mom and dad. They never had this smartphone. They never had anything, but they remembered all people's names. They had all the contact numbers. They would tell the addresses of everything. They would tell even your date of birth. But today, what happened? If I ask any of your colleague mobile number, you say, let me check the mobile. Means what? We are too dependent. So brain has got this problem. You know what? Use it or lose it. See, if you are using it, then brain will start retaining it. Once you don't trust your brain and everything you are banking upon this, brain thinks, oh, I don't need to exist. Then what will happen? Slowly, we start losing our neurons in the brain, and then we are going to become vegetable. And then what will happen? A day would come, there will be no more further invention, no more discovery, no more new, new way of exploring things, because you're not using a brain, because brain neurons are not working. So that's the reason memory is important, was important then, is important today. It will be important till the whole world is there. Human beings, memory has to be, they have to have it. So you can't live without memory. So these tools, we are using them to make our life comfortable, but not that we should become slave to this. Today, I don't have mobile. I can't even call my spouse. If that is going to be there, then we have to re-question the way we are living our life, where to check that. See, from the age of 5, I recommend them to use memory. It's like what? Children, from the moment they are born till they become 5 years, means the moment they start going to the LKG, UKG, first standard, the brain starts to develop. So till then, let them have their own memory. But the moment they cross 5 years age, that's when we can slowly, we can help them to adapt to this memory techniques. Most people, they are not aware. And we are only using the rote memory, means we simply by heart. We only revise, repeat again and again. And brain doesn't like this repetition, doesn't like, cramming of any facts. That's why children, they find study as a boring. So you ask right now, yesterday we had 2 back-to-back IPL matches. Kids from 3:30 till 9:30, they won't even get up. You call them 10 times, have food, they won't come. Have a glass of water, they won't have. Come and go to washroom, take bath, they won't go. But the moment you tell them, open the book, that's when they say, Ma, I want to go to washroom. Ma, I'm hungry. Ma, I'm thirsty. Ma, I'm feeling sleepy. Ma, I'm having a headache. Why? Because they are not in love with studies. So my endeavor is, how can we make this academic study as interesting, as exciting as playing football or playing cricket or watching television? If we can make that, it's very good. So children from the age of 5, 6 years, we can slowly usher them into the field. And the moment they come up to 5th standard, that's when we can give them the actual memory techniques. So here you develop little bit of interest from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And by the time they come to 5th standard, and then you actually put them into formal memory training. And for them, best teacher and best explanation and best method they know, and your kid is unstoppable. Olden days, before we invented script, Vedas, Upanishad, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all our scriptures, now how they had come from one generation to the other. See, they used to remember everything by heart, okay? And then what they used to do? They used to pass on to the next generation disciples. And thereafter, they will pass on to next generation. But one day people thought, that, if you don't have written anything, we are going to lose them. And that's when the script came in. So rote memory was there, and even now we require. That means what? When we have to remember definitions, equations, formulas, theorems, facts and figures, where we need to have numerical data, or we need to have some information at our fingertips. Now, up to there, we can use the by-hearting rote method, and that will definitely help us to, develop memory. But only depending on this, that's not the way. By-hearting is the base method, the primitive method, and ancient times people used to follow. But over a period of time, the way the scientists have found out a bicycle, auto, bike, car, helicopter, aeroplane, and rocket, people have come out with different memory techniques because they found out how does our brain remember, what is the science behind its memorization, and we developed some methods. And if they use by hearting, right, along with that, use different methods. So you should know where I should use what method. When I'm in my drawing room, I have to go to my washroom, I better go by walk. I'm in my house, I have to go to a shop across the road, I go by walk. But I have to go from my office to the airport, I prefer to go by my car. So you should be very, you should be very intelligent enough to find out as to which method where I should use. Now that's where you will find a ways to become successful. Visualization means what? Imagination. Imagine, now I'm going to give you some 10-15 words, and I'm sure our program will be watched by all the parents and most of the teachers as well. If I give, let us just try if we can remember some words. For example, if I tell Salman Khan, okay, I'm just trying to tell all those people going to watch our program. They just should remember without writing anywhere. Writing anyone can do. Salman Khan, you remember? Goa beach, sofa, television, Priyanka Chopra, knife, fire, road, building, biscuit, okay, sauce. I'm giving a few more words, okay, sauce, okay. After sauce, soap, shirt, stomach, books, table, parrot, moon, Narendra Modi, and last one is banana. 20 words I have told you. If I ask those of the parents, try to recollect, doesn't really matter. First one, last one, first, doesn't matter. How many words they can remember? People would say 4, 5, 7, 6. Reason is we are using by hearting method. I told Salman Khan, what do I say? Salman Khan, Salman Khan. I told Gobi, Salman Khan, Goa beach. If I say sofa, Salman, Goa beach, sofa. The moment I told television and Salman Khan, you tend to forget. I told Priyanka Chopra, you tend to forget your own name. If I told you knife, no, then you say, why did I attend this program only? What happened? By hearting is difficult. Then what method parents can teach children? What method teachers can teach children? The basic method is called visualization, means what? Imagination. See, our brain and our computer both work in similar fashion. If we type something into the computer, what does it do? It converts the data into binary code, 0, 1, 1, 0. Why? The computer knows only binary code language. Similarly, brain, whether we read English or Telugu or Tamil, when it goes inside, it converts the data into pictures. If I told you mother, what did we see? Mother's photograph, not the spelling. If I told you dinosaur, dinosaur picture had come to your brain, not the spelling. If I told you Taj Mahal, what did you see? Taj Mahal ka structure, not the spelling. Why? Brain sees pictures. That's why many children say, if I see one movie, 6 months, 1 year, I remember, long time. But if I read one book, within a week, I forget. The difference is, in a movie, we have pictures, and then Dil Wale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, and our Sholay movie, you remember even today. But any textbook, you forget. Now, this is a method that we teach children, and this is a method parents can do. Let us try these 20 words which I have given, and our parents can explore with the children. See, just all the parents, whoever is attending this program, close their eyes for a second. When I told you Salman Khan, imagine Salman Khan. And I told Goa Beach, see, imagine Salman Khan is at the Goa Beach. Next, I told you sofa, Salman Khan at the Goa Beach, he was sitting on a sofa and he was watching television. The moment he switched on the television, in the television screen, he saw one lady called Priyanka Chopra. And she came out holding one big knife. And with the knife, she killed him. After that, she put some fire and got scared, started to run on the road. Running on the road, she went to one big building and very hungry. She's asking for a biscuit. Those people gave her some sauce for eating. They said, we don't have any biscuit. They gave some sauce. After eating sauce, she started washing her hands with a soap. Thereafter, started to wipe her fingers to the shirt. That time, her fingers touched the stomach. And from the stomach, books are coming out. And she's taking the books and keeping them on the table. On the table, there was already a parrot. It went flying to the moon. There it met Narendra Modi. And she started complaining, sir, I was sitting at the table. And that fellow came and kept the book. Modi said, Mitru, don't worry. Take one banana and go and eat. So he gave one banana. It came back. Now, this is a story. Now, if I ask you, first whom you see? Salman Khan. Where was he? Goa Beach. And sitting on a sofa, watching television. Who was there? Priyanka Chopra. Came out with a knife. And she put some fire. Running on the road. Okay. And then she went to one building asking for a biscuit. They gave some sauce. Washing hands with a soap. Wiping her fingers to the shirt. Fingers such as stomach. From stomach, books. Keeping them on the table. On the table, parrot. Went to moon. Moon, it met Modiji. Modiji gave one banana. 20 words. Now let us see if we can get all of them. So Salman Khan, Goa Beach, sofa, and then television, Priyanka Chopra, knife, fire, road, building, biscuit, sauce, soap, shirt, stomach, books, table, parrot, moon, and then Narendra Modi and banana. 20 words. And I'm sure all our parents can remember what happened. The moment you saw one story, you could remember, right? See, now that's how we teach them, the basic method that we teach them. In this, different variants are there. You will ask me this question, Jaisima, how are we going to use these kind of words? Very impressive to listen. But my child is in 7th standard. My child is in 9th standard. How this technique will help? See, if you open up any textbook, you find some 10, 12 chapters. And every chapter will have some 30, 40 paragraphs. Right? Every paragraph will have one central theme. Why do these authors write in paragraph? Because every paragraph has got one central idea around which the whole paragraph keeps revolving. So when you read one paragraph, you need to pause at the end of it and ask, what is this author is trying to tell me in this? Underline that idea. So maybe I get one Salman Khan. Next, maybe I get Goa Beach. So like this, take out the words and make one story. Next time you go to exam and then write Salman Khan, underline, explain that in 1 or 2 sentences. Next is Goa Beach, underline, explain. Same thing you can use for memorizing some speech also. For example, you want to give a speech. You want to ask me some 10 questions. So 10 different points, make a story. You don't need to have any paper. You can do that. Okay. So that's how we teach them. And this is how you can remember any long answer question, essay question, any speech you can remember. And thereafter, I developed a few more methods like substitution method, right? Mnemonic method. And there's something called judicious method, and how we can use phonetic method for memorizing numbers. Like this, the more than 15 techniques I had developed, and using which, depending upon what textbook, what is the data I need to remember, and I need to take out one technique and apply that. Once children, they learn all of them, so they have tools with them and they can apply which tool for what. See, in our house also, we got toolbox, right? Screwdriver, plier, okay, spanner. We have different. So where to use a spanner, where to use a screwdriver, where to use a plier, where cutter, where to use it, right? So exactly same thing. So we are going to give one memory toolbox depending upon what you want to fix it in a brain. So you pick that up and use it. But you need to know how to use every tool that is in the toolbox. So it will take some time. That's how parents can do. So parents can actually help children to give them some words and see if they can make one story. Through this, their imagination will improve. creativity will improve. The right brain will become much more fertile, and it's going to be a beautiful brain gym exercise as well, memorizing words like that. Genes, to some extent, yes. Okay, heredity, yes. Memory does depend to some extent. How much? Only 20%. The rest, everything is learned. If memory has to come by genes, then APJ Abdul Kalam, okay, both the parents were illiterate. He was born in a small village near Rameshwaram. He went to a school near Masjid, and then he went on to become the India's famous president, Bharat Ratna, right? And then best of the scientists. And how? Because he learned. See, understand one thing: memory is a skill, and skill will come only through practice. See, if you ask me acting, does it come by birth? Cricket. No, you will have, your father is a cricketer. Maybe you'll have some of it, but then you need to again learn it, right? 20 to 30%. If you have wonderful parents, it is there. But if you don't nurture, if you don't grow, if you don't scientifically further enhance that, you're going to lose that memory. So that's why every parent should be very careful that when you spot that small talent my kid can remember, you need to put the child in the hands of one professional memory trainer, or you should put them into the path of memory where the natural talent will really blossom. So comparing to some other person, this fellow will have 20-30% much better advantage because naturally he is very good. Child's memory, it's not through academics alone. Right now we got something called memory sport. Memory sport, in the sense like we got cricket, football, hockey, swimming, like that. There is something called memory sport. There is a World Memory Sports Council based out of London. We conduct memory championship every year, and we got 10 disciplines. When you say I got good memory, how can I assess your memory? Somebody cracked a NEET exam, somebody is into IIT. You can't tell he has got best memory, and you can't compare this IIT fellow versus IAS fellow. You cannot compare. So that's why for uniform comparison, so what we have done is we have developed 10 disciplines, like what? How to memorize list of words, which I told you just now. How to remember numbers, normal numbers, 5, 7, 8, 2, like this. Then binary numbers, 1, 0, 0, 1. Then how to memorize one set of deck of playing cards. How to remember? How to remember names and faces of people. How to remember abstract images. How to remember historical years. See, like that, we have developed some 10 disciplines. The World Memory Sports Council, they conduct memory championship every year. So if you put the child through this test, they will be able to tell you where is the memory of the kid. This is standard across the globe. So like IQ, how do you measure? This girl has got 110 IQ, 105 IQ, like that. Memory, there's a uniform measurement. That's how we can test it, because otherwise we cannot compare a Chinese guy, his memory, with the Indian guy, because both of them are different languages, different subjects. You cannot compare, right? So, but there's a uniform test for across the globe. Same thing is there. And right now, I am the president of the World Memory Council for India, and I do conduct Indian National Memory Championship, online plus offline as well. So whichever part of India, you can actually get your child, to take up this test. And then offline means it happens every time in one big city in India. And then you can even send your children for the World Memory Championship. My idea was this only. I had written even to the Prime Minister saying that, only if you have physical health, to some extent, okay. But if you don't have mental health, then we are going to lose 1.4 billion people all over the country, physically fit. But to some extent, our efficiency gets limited. But our mind is very fertile, very active. For COVID, you need to, find out a medicine, you need to treat a patient, you need to send one rocket, satellite, everything is possible because of this brain. And I said, for this, we are not having anything. See, we've got today, sports grounds are there. right? And then we got gyms are there, and then we got, Olympics are there. But whose brain is the most fertile, who has got the best memory? We don't have any sport. So I had written to the Prime Minister in the new education policy, which our parents should be aware that this memory is going to be part of the school curriculum. The way we have introduced yoga right now, the memory, like half an hour. So children should be helped to understand the concept. The child should also learn a tool which he can use it for memorizing all this. So for them, you are not going to leave any loophole for that. So you can put them in the memory championship. So we are available. You can contact us and we will tell how and when the championship is happening. So the parent circle, all the parents, they can put their kids, whoever is 5 years and above, they can be part of this. And you can go on to become Indian memory champion, even world memory champion as well. So it all depends. And nothing else, ma'am. Even you and I, even we also can practice memory sport. The way we go for morning walk and gym, no? Daily memorize practice one memory activity. Then what will happen? You will never have Alzheimer, you will never have dementia, you will never have forgetfulness. You will have super memory till the last minute of your life.